Thank you for joining us for Discover NAU. I am grateful for this opportunity to speak with you about becoming part of the Lumberjack family. As you explore educational opportunities, we recognize that you have many choices, and so I want to thank you for considering NAU. Our number one focus is on your success. We offer a unique educational experience centered on your individual passions, ambitions, and preferences. At NAU, you are part of a close-knit community that provides academic and social experiences that will help you discover who you are and what direction you want your life to take. You will also enjoy the beauty of this region and the community of Flagstaff, ranked as one of the top college towns in the country with a great quality of life. We hope that what you learned today will inspire you to bring your aspirations to NAU. Enjoy today's program and go Lumberjacks.
Good morning and welcome to Discover NAU. Thanks for taking some time out of your day to learn a little bit more about Northern Arizona University. My name is Chad Eichhoff and I serve as Director of Admissions here at NAU, and I'm joined by my colleague Annika.
Thanks, Chad. Good morning, everyone. My name is Annika Olson, and I serve as the Vice President for Enrollment Management here at Northern Arizona University. I also often share with people that I have the best job on campus because I get to work with students and their parents and family members to determine if NAU is the right fit for them. We're excited you've chosen to join us today. Before we jump in talking about fit and if NAU may be right for you, we did want to touch on health and safety on campus and how we've ensured our students, faculty, and staff safety during this unprecedented health crisis, the pandemic that we're all still living through. One of the best ways to really understand is our NAU Go app, and you'll see that listed there in the bullets on the left-hand side of your screen. That app is where our students complete their daily health check, as well as can understand and link to ordering food through one of our robots on campus, or understanding the capacity in some of the dining facilities in that very moment if they're considering going. We've changed how we've delivered our academic offerings through the use of our NAU Flex technology stack. So some students are joining in person, some remotely, or some mix thereof, but all are getting that world-class education from our amazing faculty. So some just of the few steps that we've taken to ensure faculty and staff and students are safe on campus. Another key part of that has been our mitigation testing. So each week we test upwards of 2,500 faculty, staff, and students that are randomly selected to get tested so we can make sure that we're heading off any infections here on campus. And that has been quite successful. Mask wearing, and I think I already mentioned physical distancing as well. And really just Lumberjacks taking care of Lumberjacks has really proven to be effective in our community and mitigating some of the risk associated with COVID. We're really proud of that.
Absolutely, and I will say a lot of the images you may see and videos you'll see today throughout our presentation, many of those were taken prior to the pandemic. So if you see people not social distancing or not wearing masks, we want to show you what some normalcy looks like on campus from before the pandemic, and hopefully we'll be back to that within short order as well too. But if you did set foot on campus now, certainly you would see the mask wearing and the social distancing happening throughout campus. Annika mentioned mentioned fit, and I'm going to kind of put out there 3 different kinds of fit that students and families should be looking for when they're choosing a college, whether it be NAU or another institution. Really, those 3 kinds of fit are going to be academic fit, which we're going to start off talking about, followed by social fit, and then lastly, financial fit. Those are kind of the 3 kinds of fit. So diving into academic fit, you can see some of the key numbers there on the screen in terms of average class size, student to faculty ratio. You can also see that we've got about 100 different degree programs to choose from. So pretty much anything you can think of. Chances are if you came here and then changed your mind, we'd probably have it as well. And We're going to talk about 8 of those 9 different academic colleges. So you saw there was 9 different academic colleges. The one we're not going to talk about is our graduate college. However, I do want to make a nod to it and a mention to it that we do have about 60 different master's programs and 15 doctoral programs. And some opportunities that we have are for accelerated programs, actually. So if you're a motivated student, you could finish your undergraduate degree and a master's degree in as little as 5 years. So 4+1 or 3+2 program to crank out that master's degree a little faster. For a full list of those accelerated programs, go to nau.edu/accelerated. Now we're going to jump into 8 different colleges and give kind of a quick overview of them, and then have the opportunity to hear from a student. And first of all, we've got our College of Arts and Letters.
Great. So as Chad mentioned, the first college we're going to talk about is the College of Arts and Letters. And CAL, as we like to call it for short, houses the traditional college majors from philosophy, history, and English to comparative cultural studies as well. Cal also houses our performing arts, so art, music, and theater. And one of the things that has struck me during the pandemic has been the desire and will of students to still perform, whether that's on a live stream, in a Zoom meeting, or even outside on campus. I've walked by and seen our ensembles performing, so that's been great to see all of that still occurring. But don't take my word from it. Let's hear from Abby, a Cal student.
In the College of Arts and Letters, specifically being a music education major, you have a lot of opportunities to be in music ensembles, and that would include orchestra, band, and choirs. And something really cool about that is if you audition, you can get a lot of scholarship money for just being in them.
Thank you, Abby. Next up, our College of Education. And back when NAU was founded in 1899, we were a teacher's college, and still certainly a point of pride and an emphasis for us here at NAU, really focusing on getting students in the classroom early on and working with students early on within their undergraduate career here at NAU. We do have CAPE accreditation. We are the only institution in the state of Arizona with CAPE accreditation, and that prestigious accreditation is something that we're proud of. Now we want to hear from one of our students who's in the College of Education, Cameron.
So the first thing I did was I joined an intramural soccer team because I played soccer since I was 3 years old, played competitively in high school, and I wanted to keep that going. I wanted to stay fit in a way that I enjoyed, and that is soccer. Up here, everybody wants to learn, everybody is excited to learn what they're studying, and then it's just a whole different atmosphere because people can just dive deep into their studies and be passionate about what they're doing because they're choosing their path, they're choosing what's going to happen for them down the road, and it just makes the environment completely different. So I am an elementary education major with a concentration in foreign language, and my biggest goal in life is to make an impact, and I think teachers are some of the most influential people in a child's life, and they really do make that impact. And in the terms of going into foreign language, when you work in underprivileged schools, a lot of parents from Spanish-speaking homes cannot speak English, so having that second language is going to be really beneficial when it comes to parent-teacher conferences and things like that. And not only can I make an impact on the students, I can make an impact on their parents too. So I'm taking a class right now, ESE 280, which is a class that talks about students with special needs. And I grew up with a cousin who had Down syndrome, and he was like my best friend growing up. So learning how to work with those kids in schools is going to be really eye-opening to me because I know how to do it on a social aspect, and it might be different because he's family, but learning how to do that on a professional kind of level is going to be really important for me, and I'm really excited to get into my practicum next semester or next year, and I can't wait to like put everything I'm learning into like action and see if this really is the right fit for me.
Welcome back. Next is our College of Engineering, Informatics, and Applied Sciences. Always have to
KIOS, right? We try to
yes,
yeah.
KIOS is the short version of that. It's kind of a tongue twister to
It is.
say all together. But this college houses many engineering programs, 6 collaborative research centers and institutes. And I was speaking with the dean of the Engineering, Informatics, and Applied Sciences College a few weeks ago, and he shared with me something I was unaware of. that nearly 50% of the senior capstone projects that happen in this college are sponsored by industry. So what that means is that students are getting practical experience from day one in this college and is at the end of their career here, right before they graduate, have direct interaction with sponsors from industry, which I just thought was so very, very exciting. And that the immediate impact that these majors have on our daily lives is just truly amazing. But don't take it from me. Let's hear from Cato to hear some more about his experience here.
Hi there, my name's Cato with the College of Engineering, Informatics, and Applied Sciences. Most of the programs within this college are ABET accredited, so the curriculum itself is very hands-on. The professors are very engaging with their students, and you can tell that they want them to succeed. I'm just very blessed to be a part of such a great college.
Thank you, Cato. I always love his energy. He's one of our ambassadors in our office, and if you have the opportunity to meet him on a tour someday or meet him at orientation, certainly love Cato's energy. Next up, our College of the Environment, Forestry, and Natural Sciences, CEFINS. Right,
Another tongue twister.
Yep, the acronym we could try to narrow that down to. Our forestry program is located there, and NAU does own a large forest of their own, where our students are out there getting that hands-on practical research experience within our forest. Also the only forestry program in the state of Arizona, perhaps the only forest as well, too. And our dark skies, which I'll talk about a little bit later when I talk about Flagstaff. Our astronomy students are getting experience looking at our beautiful night skies on telescopes here on campus, and then some telescopes located through the region as well. We want to have the opportunity to hear from one of our students again. We're going to hear from Danielle, a biomed major.
Hi, so my name is Danielle. I'm from Mesa, Arizona. I'm a junior this year, and I'm majoring in biomedical sciences, and I'm double minoring in chemistry and sociology, and I'm also a student in the Honors College. So I do volunteer at the Flagstaff Medical Center in the emergency department. It's mainly comprised of just stocking like the IV cards, patient rooms, interacting with patients as well. And from those experiences, I've learned how triage works essentially. So when a patient is first admitted into the hospital, how they're assessed, and how certain patients are ranked higher in terms of when the physician will see them. I've learned that whole process, which is great. And there's also opportunities to shadow the physicians at the hospital as well. So I've done that numerous times. I've shadowed multiple physicians, and I've seen patients that have cancer, some people that just come in for cardiac problems, and I get to see how they're assessed by the physician, what steps they take after that, how the physicians refer them to other specialties, and that's just really opened up my eyes, and it's a great way to put my foot into the door as I am interested in becoming an emergency room physician myself. And then I also do research here with bioinformatics, mainly looking at the TP53 gene in mammals and investigating that with cancer in mammals and humans. I do take a lot of credits every semester, and then I also do a lot of off-site involvements, and on top of that, I am studying for the MCAT exam for medical school. But for de-stressing, I love to play with all three of my cats. And then I also just do small things that I enjoy, so just like playing the violin or reading for like 20 minutes every single night, and just like enjoying that like small little bit of time, and then I can get back to my priorities and focus on school again.
Now more than ever, our next college, the College of Health and Human Services, is at the forefront of our recent and ongoing health crisis. The students here have gotten an experience that maybe they didn't think they were going to receive when they applied. The Health and Human Services Colleges is home to our two competitive programs, our School of Nursing and Dental Hygiene, as well as a host of other popular programs. It's been exciting to work alongside some of our HHS, or Health and Human Services, students as they've helped us staff our mitigation testing center, and hopefully soon our vaccine clinic as well. Exciting to be there as they're gaining some of that hands-on experiences. But don't take it from me. Let's hear from Alyssa to share more.
NAU made me feel really at home whenever I connected with this girl down my hall. We were both living in McConnell at the time, and she was like 2 doors away from me, and we had a hall dinner at the Dubai Center. So we all went, and she was wearing a cheer jacket, her whole high school cheer jacket, and I was like, oh my God, I cheered, and she was like, I cheered, and so then we connected off of, we both cheered. And we established a friendship. We were both kind of scared to go out of our comfort zone and scared to meet new people, but we encourage each other to go and find new friends and go sit next to people and go to SI sessions and go to the running of the freshmen, which is really fun. I remember me and her both were super nervous because we were not ready to run a football field. I feel like the adrenaline rush and just sitting down in the stands and feeling like this is what a college football game feels like, and kind of feeling like this is NAU. This is going to be where I'm living for the next 4 years. So I think at that moment was very breathtaking for me. The class that I took that really intrigued me into public health and why I wanted to go this direction was Anatomy 202, and that's the physiology of the human body. So the digestive system, the respiratory system, the cardiovascular system, and I was just so intrigued by all of our systems in our body and how they connect and work as one. And it just intrigued me to be all of our body works in different ways and no one's going to be the same. All of our bodies are different, but we have one core function. The cardiovascular system's pretty much similar to everyone. I don't know, I just NAU just has this special feel to it. Everywhere I go on campus, I can feel I'm connected to someone. If it's the Chick-fil-A worker or walking into the math lab, I feel they're eager that I'm there and that how can I help you, or that kind of feel.
Thank you for that video, and I also want to say thank you to our healthcare heroes as well, too, helping us through this pandemic, and certainly many more will be alum of the College of Health and Human Services. Next up, our College of Social and Behavioral Sciences, SBS. A lot of the very people-focused majors: psychology, sociology, anthropology. Also, our School of Communication falls under the umbrella of the College of Social and Behavioral Sciences, and opportunities for student-run newspapers, student-run radio, the opportunity to get involved with television through NAU TV, and we're in a NAU TV studio right now as we film this. We also have a state-of-the-art virtual reality lab where our students are getting opportunities with virtual reality. And I know our esports team, which we're not talking clubs and social scene now, but I know they utilize that virtual reality space as well. We want to hear from one of our communications majors, Carrington. So let's give it a listen.
When I started applying for colleges, I was set on staying in California, and my aunt was like, oh, you should check out this school called NAU. I looked at the website and I automatically fell in love with the school based on the website. I don't know what it was, but I signed up for a tour and I came to visit the school, and that just made me want to come here even more. And yeah, I came to NAU. So originally I was a public health major. I ended up switching to comm, and that was the perfect major for me, because if it weren't for that, I wouldn't have found my internship, which I love. I interned with NAU Social, and it's basically, we help run as interns the social media for the school, and we get to go to a lot of events and we get to get content, and sometimes I get to write blogs, which is fun. That's my favorite part. And it's a little family that I got on campus. So definitely don't limit yourself. If anything, even if you're like me, set on not, or if you were like me, set on not going to school out of state, at least apply, because you never know, you could change your mind. And also, when you do get to school, to just enjoy every minute of it, because it does go by really fast.
Great, that was great to hear from Carrington. Next is the W.A. Franke College of Business, also home to our world-renowned School of Hotel and Restaurant Management. Students that are attracted to this college have a work ethic like you've never seen. When I spoke with the dean also a couple of weeks ago, he could not stop talking about the incredible work ethic and drive of the students in this college, which is no surprise being a school of business, but also what's unique is that they really work alongside their faculty members with their business plans and their coursework to ensure their success. Again, let's hear from AJ, one of our business students.
I actually got into rock climbing through NAU. I took this wilderness welcome rock climbing trip where they took us around and they had us climb outdoors with ropes and without, and they taught us everything there was to know about climbing. Just absolutely fell in love with the sport of rock climbing, and so I got a membership to a bouldering gym off campus, and I've climbed there for 3 years now, and it's just been my hobby. I've absolutely loved my almost 4 years in the College of Business so far. I think the business ones specifically promote an environment of professionalism, which is very helpful in the field of business. My favorite class in my major was Management 340, which was titled Business Ethics. I just found it fascinating how they were able to combine a business class with a philosophy class, and it was a class that was almost completely based on discussion because there was no right answer to some situations, so it was just kind of getting to the resolution of what would be the best for most people, and that's what you'd have to do as a manager. Kind of have to look out for your team and your company as a whole, and I think it's good to practice those. It's just so much fun being around the same people and getting to know them and knowing that you're all striving towards the same goal.
Thank you, AJ. Last but not least, our Honors College, and rather than hear me talk about it, I want to throw it to Dean Gustafson, the Dean of the Honors College. So let's take a listen.
Hi, my name is Kevin Gustafson. I'm the Dean of the NAU Honors College, and I'm here to invite you to a great academic opportunity here at Northern Arizona University. The NAU Honors College is the small college experience in the middle of a big, bustling research university. Two main features distinguish our innovative curriculum. One is our approach to liberal studies or general education requirements. Instead of taking large introductory lecture courses in various disciplines, students in the Honors College earn liberal studies credits through taking small, discussion-based interdisciplinary seminars on topics ranging from mystery of the brain to culture, race, and democracy to Harry Potter to Game of Thrones. All students at NAU take a 3-credit capstone in their major. Honors students take a 6-credit capstone. And we encourage students to really think outside the box, to use these projects to meet a specific personal, academic, or professional goal. Some students will do work in their major, other students do something completely different. They may be an engineer by training, but they have a passion for painting. It's a chance for honors students to have a truly individualized educational experience, one that is geared to meeting their personal, professional, or academic goals. The other pride of the Honors College is our brand new Living Learning community, which opened in August of 2018. The Honors Residential College has, on the academic side, has 7 state-of-the-art classrooms. It has honors advising, a writing center, faculty office, administrative offices, all the things you need to have a truly supportive academic community. The residential side has housing for 620 students with 2 different types of rooms. A standard double room has 2 beds, 2 workspaces, but each double room has its own bathroom in it. The other floor plan has 2 entrances, 2 single rooms with a shared bathroom in between. So if you are the kind of student who appreciates small classes with invigorating discussions, who wants a truly individualized educational experience, who appreciates being pushed but also supported as you meet your personal and professional ambitions, then I hope you'll join us at the NAU Honors College. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean Gustafson. So studying abroad is the next thing we're going to talk about, and it's certainly a regret of mine personally that I did not take advantage of study abroad opportunities when I was in college. And NAU does a great job with study abroad, so really encourage folks to take advantage of one of those opportunities. We have opportunities all around the world. I do want to call out specifically our interdisciplinary global program. What that is, it's a 5-year program, and one of those years you spend abroad and you end up with 2 degrees. So it could be a language, so maybe Spanish and a business degree, and one of those years could be spent abroad in the country of Spain, immersing yourself in the culture and the language. Partly because of the interdisciplinary global program, NAU actually ranks 7th in the nation in terms of total number of students taking advantage of a year-long study abroad opportunity. So NAU does a great job with that, and I'm certainly looking forward to post-pandemic having these ramp up again and have that opportunity for our students to travel around the world. If going abroad to another country is maybe a little more than you're looking for, we do have our National Student Exchange, where students can go to another institution within the United States or Canada, and maybe they could check out a potential grad school they're thinking about going to, or maybe a city they're looking at living in post-graduation, and check out one of those. Or maybe marine biology and go live by an ocean at an institution for a semester could be an opportunity there. Next up, I want to show you a video. And I know I certainly have the travel bug for post-pandemic. And this will certainly give you the travel bug as well, too. So let's take a look.
Food has a story. It has a sense of place. You taste the land, the weather, the people,
their way of life. NAU's Discovering Gastronomy is a study abroad program.
We were in France, learning from industry experts.
The love and the compassion that people have going into the food.
Seeing it from their side, they value it so much.
It's really about knowing everything you can about your food.
It really made me realize how much beauty there is in food.
They learn people are really what kind of connect that story about food, and that brings them to a new level of understanding and perspective that they can bring back to employers.
It's changed my world, honestly, and I'm looking at things in a new way.
Food is the story of who we are, and I can't wait to show the world who I am.
One of the things that by the time you start your first term here at NAU, you'll probably be almost tired of hearing, but our number one concern is your success as a student. We want to make sure before, during, and even after you graduate, you are successful. And here are a number of different ways we help to ensure that success. From our Academic Success Center, free tutoring, and even career advice before, during, and after your time as a student. Through our handshake portal, you can it will help connect you with jobs and career advice and resume brushing up and all of that. In the classroom, that Lumberjack Mathematics Center, as well as supplemental instruction, is key. So, if you are needing help, please reach out. But don't worry, we'll be reaching out to you as well to make sure you have the support you need to be successful as a student here. I would like to turn it over to a number of our different amazing faculty members to talk a little bit more. Let's take a look.
Some general advice for students: don't obsess about your grades. Your grades do not define who you are. Instead, maybe obsess about learning how to learn. If you can develop that, the grades will come, but the grades do not define who you are.
One piece of advice that I could give to NAU students to be successful would be to learn what an informational interview is and to conduct as many of those as you possibly can. An informational interview lets you meet with experts and with newer colleagues in the field that you're trying to go into and learn how they got there and what makes them successful.
When we kicked off the day, we talked about 3 different kinds of fit. Academic fit, which we've touched on largely so far up to this point. We're going to kind of transition to the social fit before wrapping up with the financial fit. And I think one of the biggest parts of the social fit is the city you live in, right? And the community that you're a part of. and Flagstaff is certainly a spot I feel fortunate to have called home for the last 13 years. Originally from Minnesota, so a transition out to Arizona. We do have all 4 seasons here, which for those of you not from Arizona might not realize that. I know myself, coming from Minnesota, I thought desert, cactus, hot were kind of things I would think of to describe Arizona. But Flagstaff, we're at 7,000 feet elevation. So we're getting all 4 seasons, one of the top 10 snowiest cities in the country, but also one of the top 10 sunniest cities in the country. So different than that Minnesota winter I grew up with all the sunshine and not the gray skies that I grew up with. Certainly a college town, and ranked one of the best college towns in the country. I mentioned earlier that idea around dark skies. Flagstaff was the world's first dark sky city, and we've got kind of ordinances around light pollution. Lights need to be pointed downward. Businesses turn their lights off at night. And the Huffington Post recognized that, and they named Flagstaff the best city in the world for stargazing. And a point of pride for us here in Flagstaff is Pluto was actually discovered at Lowell Observatory about a mile from campus. Still a planet in our hearts. We're going to keep holding on to that one as Flagstaff residents. So looking a little broader and zooming out from Flagstaff, Northern Arizona is certainly something that you should explore while being a student here at NAU. Vibrant arts and cultural scene, winter sports, so if skiing, snowboarding is something of interest, we certainly have that for you. And national parks, monuments, just a short drive here from campus. The beautiful Red Rocks of Sedona. Absolutely love having the Grand Canyon in our backyard. Just on a whim, you can wake up on a Saturday morning and make a trip to one of the 7 wonders of the world, where people from all around the world are traveling to see it, and it is right here in our backyard. And closer, right in our backyard, is that Flagstaff Urban Trail System. That opportunity to just get out and explore on a bike, on foot, and certainly in the pandemic times, I've been walking around and exploring all the urban trails in my neighborhood and throughout the community. And certainly with all these great things in our backyard, the classroom experience and the recreational experience of our students utilize those spaces. And we're going to take a look at Chocolate Falls, a video of Chocolate Falls, just a short
my favorite name.
Drive from campus. Yes, exactly. I love my chocolate too. So let's take a look.
Exploration is traveling to a place to learn about it. Here in northern Arizona, you can find places that take your breath away. These NAU hikes give me a sense of discovery, of a place where I belong. Find your place at Northern Arizona University.
Certainly the city is a big part of that social experience, but also so is your living environment. And that's where our Housing and Residence Life team comes in. In a typical year, nearly 90% of our first-year students choose to live on campus, although we don't require it. There is a 2-step application process, and we will place you by residential college. So you will live with other students that are in your same college. So if you're a College of Business major or an HRM major, you'll be living in the same residence hall. We find that student success is much higher when we do that. Natural study groups form, and easy access to professors who sometimes come to the halls to make sure everything's going well in their particular class. So lots of opportunity there. And one of the greatest parts when you come to join us for a campus visit, this DNAU or a campus tour, is seeing the inside of a residence hall room. And we know we're not in a position to do that, but don't worry, we did have one of our team members do a tour for you and video that of the showroom. So let's go ahead and take a look.
Hi guys, I'm Carolina. I'm a senior here at NAU. My major is Communication Science and Disorders. I'm going to be a third-year RA in Gabaldon next year, so today I'm just going to be taking you on a room tour. Cool, so to start off, we're going to start talking about the beds here. All of the beds are loftable and bunkable, and you can adjust them for storage. So it takes about 2 or 3 people to adjust the bed, just so you're aware. Moving on, each student in this space has their own desk, and then they also have their own drawer space in the room, as you can see. So each room comes with their own closets for each student, so there's a lot of space for clothing and other valuables. So each room also comes with their own fridge. It's pretty spacious, so just like be courteous to your roommate and just talk about that things, communicate. NAU has their own virtual reality that you can go on to the NAU website. It's very specific to the room that you're staying in, so just go look that up to see kind of like how your room is set up, and then you'll be ready for move-in day.
So now you see what the inside of a typical residence hall room looks like. But don't fear, you notice there was a glass door on that hall room. That's our showroom to show guests as they're coming to campus. Your room will not have a glass door on it. So
good clarification.
Yeah,
Yes,
I just wanted to be crystal clear about that piece. Now, as the mom of 2 teenagers, I know the next topic is a hot topic, and that is eating and dining on campus. We have over 25 different retail locations, from Starbucks to Einstein's to Chick-fil-A on campus. And if you want to stay, if you're, really studying hard and don't want to leave your residence hall area to go get food, one of our Starship robots can bring it directly to you. I myself have a dining plan. I find it super convenient just working on campus. Lots of different meal plans depending on what your dietary needs are. All of that we take into account. So the options are really quite limitless. Corbin's going to tell you a little bit about his favorite eating spots on campus. Let's take a listen.
Hey everyone, I'm Corbin, just outside of our University Union, where a lot of different dining options are here for students. Here at NAU, we've got 27 different dining options, ranging from Chick-fil-A and Denny's to Einstein Bros Bagels and Jamba Juice, and anything in between a student can find their liking here on campus. My personal favorite is called the Green Scene. It's on the 3rd floor of the HLC, so once you're here at NAU, definitely come check it out.
Thank you, Corbin. Next up, we want to talk about transportation. And I know parents and students alike are always interested in how the students are going to get around campus, how they're going to get to and from campus. We have a very bicycle-friendly campus, a very pedestrian-friendly campus as well. Additionally, we do have our bus system here on campus that we've got loops going in both directions. So you can hop on a bus all over campus, and it'll take you to all the other parts of campus. We also have our city bus line that runs through campus, and with your student ID, you can hop on those city buses that come through campus for free. As far as getting to and from Flagstaff, there are some private companies that offer shuttles down to the Phoenix and the Phoenix Airport. There's also the Flix bus that will go all the way down to Tucson, as well as out to California and some other cities. So those are some ways to get around on the ground. As far as through the air, we do have an airport here in Flagstaff, and currently the direct flights out of Flagstaff, you can connect down to Phoenix and then connect from there. You can go direct to Denver, Colorado, and then also Dallas, Texas are the 3 options that we currently have out of the Flagstaff Airport that can help get you to and from home. For those of you joining us from out of state, those can be some options.
Next is campus safety, a key component. We talked about some pandemic safety measures that we took at the beginning of our time together, but these are other safety measures that we've taken into account, whether we're in a pandemic or not, although many of them have come in quite handy during this time. One of the things is the NAU Safe app. In that app, students can request a safety escort if they're working late at the library and aren't totally comfortable walking across campus in the evening. We also publish our Clery report on our NAU Police Department website, an accredited police department. And oftentimes you'll see that police department talking with students about making sure they're keeping their residence hall safe, not propping doors open, and making sure they're not leaving their laptop in the middle of the library while they head across the street to go get food and those types of things. All in all, and I think you'll hear from our students, a safe campus and that they feel safe on campus.
Next up, diversity and inclusion.
Definitely, and no matter how you identify or where you come from, we want to make sure you find a home here on our campus. In our team in the diversity and inclusion area helps do that. Whether you're a first-generation student, or you're a student or military, student veteran or military affiliated. Our Disability Resources has been a great resource for even faculty, staff, and our students. And by far, one of my very favorite places on campus is our Native American Cultural Center. We're in such a unique area in the Southwest. And if you know nothing about Indigenous populations, please make a point to go to the Native American Cultural Center, ask questions, read some of the things that are up in that center. And maybe you'll even have a class there or a meeting there. Just a great hub of activity here on campus.
And certainly, I like to always call out our dedication to first-generation college students. High percentage of our students do identify as first generation. It's an identity I actually have as well, too. And I'm really thankful for the effort NAU puts in to help students that are first generation and the first in their families to pursue a college degree. So another part of the social fit is certainly clubs and activities. Over 400 clubs and organizations here on campus, and that number seems to grow every single year as new clubs, new interests continually get added. Pretty much everything you could possibly think of. If you happen to not find a club or org of interest to you, you and a few of your classmates and a faculty or staff mentor can create a new one, and that's why that number keeps increasing each year. Fraternity and sorority life is available for students that are interested in that. ASNAU is our student government, so maybe you're involved with student government in high school and want to continue that passion. And then lots of entertainment options here as well. We've got different bands and artists and speakers, all kinds of things that come through campus, and you have that opportunity to learn more about. And most of them are free or reduced cost to students to be able to attend.
And certainly those have all continued, even though we're in kind of a socially, physically distanced world at the moment. Students have found amazing creative ways, whether it's a TikTok battle or connecting on Zoom or virtual concerts, all have happened here in the last handful of months. So tons of creativity and still students finding some really meaningful ways to connect with each other.
Absolutely. So next up, NAU Athletics. We are NCAA Division I with our athletics programs. We compete in the Big Sky Conference for most of our teams. The exception being our women's swimming and diving that competes in the WAC, the Western Athletic Conference. We're at 7,000 feet elevation, so really strong in those distance and endurance type sports. Swimming and diving has won the last 7 WAC titles, and a huge point of pride for us is our men's cross country team, who recently won 3 straight national titles. So we want to hear from one of our student athletes, though, so I'm going to throw it over to DJ.
It's all the classes, it's all the practices. I mean, there's so many points where I really wanted to give up. You know, it was so hard. I just constantly remember my parents saying, if it's too easy, you know, you're not going to get anything out of it. I can attribute 100% of my success to my parents. My father and I, we both blood, sweat, and tears on the same field. Without NAU, I don't think that I would have the opportunities that I could have in the future. It's really built me and molded me into what I am now. My name is DJ Arnson. I'm a biomedical science major and chemistry minor, and I'm a lumberjack.
So Chad mentioned we talked about the academic fit and we talked about the social fit. And next is a favorite of parents typically. How about the cost and the cost of attendance? And how can we make that work given our family's situation? We know predictability of cost is critical. So what you see listed on your screen is how we calculate what we call cost of attendance. So that includes the tuition rates, and whether you're an Arizona student or a non-resident or a WUI student, I'm going to be covering what that is in just a minute. There you see your tuition rate there. We also know that there are additional costs from books and supplies, certainly the meal plan and living, but also fees. And some of those can vary depending on your courses. Some lab courses may have additional fees for lab supplies and those types of things. But we try to estimate a total cost of attendance when we're building your financial aid package, and we're going to talk about that in just a moment. Now, I mentioned that WUE rate, or WUE, and that stands for Western Undergraduate Exchange Program. So if you reside in one of the territories or states that are highlighted in yellow on the screen, once you're admitted, you're automatically put at that WUE tuition rate, which you also see on this screen. There's no additional application or anything you need to do. It's based on once you're admitted to the institution, to NAU, we're going to put you in that tuition rate automatically. Now, I know when working with parents and having a college first-year student myself next year, cost is critical, and offsetting some of those costs with some merit and scholarship options is also critical. So I'm going to turn it over to Chad to talk through how we manage that here.
Yeah, so jumping into scholarships, and we're going to start with our top award for our Arizona residents, our Lumberjack Scholars Award. And with that, we're looking at a 3.5 and above core GPA, nothing lower than a B in any of the 16 core courses. And we'll touch on what the 16 core courses are in a moment here as we talk about admissions criteria. And no deficiencies in any of those 16 core courses. And you can see the value there, and these are for our incoming students for fall 2021. These would be the requirements. You can get a sense of what the amount is for those students. Additionally, some other scholarships for our Arizona residents for that WUE group we touched on, and then our non-residents. These are some additional scholarships, and these are also going to be core GPAs, unweighted, of those 16 core classes. And you can see a breakdown there, and Mike could be able to get a sense looking at the screen of where you will fall. Any of these awards, I should say, you will automatically be evaluated for those when you apply for admissions here at NAU.
So let's talk about those core courses. Here at Northern Arizona University, we take your coursework from high school and we break it down into these areas, and whether they're in progress if you're a senior, or if you're applying at the end of your junior year, we know that you'll be taking that 4th year of English or that 4th year of math. We also require 3 years of lab science, 2 years of social science, with one of those being U.S. or American history, 2 years of a second language, and I will say American Sign Language does count in that category as well, and 1 year of a fine art or a CTE or career and technical education course. Those are the 16 core courses that we then calculate your GPA to map to those scholarship bands that we saw on the previous screen. All of that is available for you online as well. And certainly the pandemic has changed the way students are taking standardized tests. For years, we haven't required a standardized test. Our scholarships or for admissions, you do not need to have an ACT or an SAT test. They are optional and certainly can help you with some placement into a English class, or as Chad mentioned, if you are deficient in one of those years, let's say you only took 3 years of math, but scored really high on one of those tests, you could offset that deficiency with that test score. So if you have it, send it, but absolutely not required. So if you're if you're a high school senior and have already applied and been admitted, and you think that NAU is the right fit for you, the next steps would be to pay your enrollment deposit and secure your spot in the fall 2021 class. If you're a junior or sophomore and doing some early college search, we love that. You know those those 16 core courses we'll be looking at, and you can apply in the July before your senior year, as early as that. But for you seniors, after that deposit, you'll want to apply for housing if you're going to join us here on campus, and then also complete priority enrollment. That priority enrollment profile, you'll share any AP classes you've taken, any recent coursework, maybe you've changed your major since when you applied. All of that will be shared in that priority enrollment profile that your academic advisor will take and build your first and even your second term courses out for you and start building that schedule. We'll also we'll register you for orientation in May, and then you'll want to send that final high school transcript and those immunization records, which is pretty standard operating procedure no matter where you choose to go. We certainly hope you join us here in Lumberjack country, though. Before we sign off, I did want to show you this awesome video that our team in advancement put together, highlighting some of our giving day and our students, faculty, and staff working together. Let's take a look.
Go Jack! This is Northern Arizona University. It's the one with the mountains, the pines, the dome, the Lumberjacks. It's the one on the Mother Road with 100 years of tradition, which looks like this. That, or this. A unique place where you can learn here or here.
It's really beautiful, I love it.
It's a community that cares, because that's what Lumberjacks are. See, NAU helps people who can look at microorganisms and see global impacts. People who understand helping one person walk moves us all forward. That opportunity is the only thing that can limit achievement. Lumberjacks stand together, passing traditions onto the next generation, sharing the stuff we love, the moments we remember. It's the pride that shapes the university, that shapes us. This is Northern Arizona University. We are proud, we are loyal, we are Lumberjacks.
Thank you, Chad and Annika, for that great presentation. My name is Erin Murdoch, and I'm the Manager of Recruitment and Training here at Northern Arizona University's Admissions Office. My recruitment territories include Mojave County here in Arizona, the greater Austin, Texas area, and I also work with students from Northeast and Southeast USA. I am so excited to be with you all here today for the student panel. We've got two of our awesome student ambassadors here to answer some questions that have been submitted to the inbox admissions@nau.edu. With that, I will now turn it over to our awesome student ambassadors to introduce themselves. We'll start with Alexia.
Hello, my name is Alexia. My pronouns are she, her. I am a sophomore this year at NAU. My major is biomedical sciences, and I have a minor in chemistry and Spanish, and I'm from Yuma, Arizona.
Hi everyone, my name is Megan. I am a senior here on campus studying criminal justice with a minor in social work. I'm originally from Glendale, Arizona. My preferred pronouns are she, her.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for those introductions. With that, we will now roll into our very first question, which is how do students get jobs on campus and apply for those jobs? And we'll start with Megan.
So with on-campus jobs, we have a platform called Handshake that is either a website or an app, depending on how you want to log on to it. You'll use your NAU credentials, and you'll just create a profile. And this website or app looks at both on and off-campus jobs. So if you are looking to be a student worker, or if you just want any job in Flagstaff itself, you can look at Handshake. With Handshake, they provide the job requirements and things like that, so that way you know what you're looking at. And when you're applying, you'll upload your resume and experience and things like that. And then once you apply, your employer will reach back out to you based on the information you gave them for interviews and furthering your application.
Yeah, and like Megan said, we have on and off campus. So our job is on campus, and it's really awesome because they know we're students, so they have like very flexibility with like a schedule.
Awesome. Thank you for that great information. Handshake is run through our Office of Career Development, which is a really great resource for students as they do look to get employment opportunities both on and off campus. With that, we'll jump into our next question, which is what is something that you brought to campus that you didn't need, and what is something that you brought to campus that you are glad you brought? And with that, we'll start with Alexia.
Yes, something I bring my first year and I absolutely didn't need was a fan. I honestly still have it like in its box, so I didn't like open it because we didn't need it. And something that I'm really glad I did bring is my weighted blanket because it's just nice to have it like in cold nights.
And something that I brought that I probably didn't need was the amount of clothes. I brought almost my entire closet, and I probably wear about the same 10 to 15 outfits every week, if I'm being completely honest. So narrowing down what outfits you will wear on a regular basis. And something that I did bring that I really enjoyed was having a Brita, because although we have like water filling stations all around campus, it's nice to have that in your room.
That is some great advice. Thinking of clothes and bringing those to campus, we got a question from a student from Phoenix who was wondering how they should prepare for the colder weather here on campus. Megan, would you like to start us out with that question?
Yeah, absolutely. Something that I needed to bring when I was coming to campus, since I am from Glendale, it is a warmer area. I brought a bunch of different layers. So that is like thermals, long sleeves, jackets, and a puffy jacket, so that way I can layer accordingly, depending on how cold it was or if it was getting a little warmer, but I still needed an under layer. Layering was my best friend, so.
Yes, also for me, my hometown is like warm. So something I find that it was really useful to have, it was like gloves and also snow boot, because sometimes it's like hard to walk like in snow. So that was really helpful for me.
That is some great information. I know we just got some snow recently, so it's always good to be prepared even in the spring. Another great question that we got from one of our students that just came in is about academics. How can I meet with my professor? So Alexia, would you mind telling us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so one way to meet with your professor is just like reaching out with their office hours. And that just, our professor here in campus are required to have office hours. And you can just like have an appointment within those hours, or also just like sometimes just show up on those hours.
And for me, you can, with those office hours, you can go into their office, meet with them, and if that doesn't work for you, I personally email my professors directly, and they are able to answer it just via email. And if you need further help, you can try and set up a different time with them as well.
Awesome. Thank you for that great information about our academics and meeting with professors. Whether it's dropping into office hours or stopping by after class, we know how important it is to form those meaningful relationships. With that, we're getting into our next question about having fun here in the weekend in the area. So what is something that you all do for fun in the weekend in Flagstaff? And we'll start with you, Megan.
So something that me and my friends really like to do is go down to Lake Mary. It's about a 10-minute drive, so it's not far at all. And we'll do like picnics or hammocking out there. And during like the summer, you can go kayaking. It's just a very, very beautiful area. Or we like to go up to Lowell Observatory and look at the stars, because we are a dark city up here in Flagstaff. So you are able to see all of the stars.
Yeah, and for me, it was like exploring Flagstaff and like the surrounding, like going to Grand Canyon, Sedona, or Jerome. It was a really good experience because like before NAU, I haven't gone like Grand Canyon, and so it was really good.
We are actually the closest university to the Grand Canyon, with it just being about an hour and a half for us. So that is a very convenient trip for our students. And we're also just about 45 minutes from Sedona. Beautiful, beautiful place for our students to also blow off some steam in between courses. And with that, thinking about transportation and getting around town, freshmen are allowed to bring cars on campus. But if a freshman doesn't bring a car, how might they go about getting around and maybe getting home on the weekends? And we'll start with you, Megan.
So a couple different ways that you can get home is the AZ shuttle. So that is a transportation option that you can do that will come on campus and it will take you down to the Phoenix airport. So if you're trying to get to a flight that you've booked, that's a great option. Or if you are trying to get down to the Phoenix area, you can get dropped off at the Phoenix airport and have your parent or a friend pick you up from there. We also have a rideshare Facebook page. So if you're interested in riding with other students, they will post and just say that they are going down to the Phoenix area or areas around Flagstaff. And they'll tell you like it's $5 to $10 for a seat in the car just to pitch in for gas. So that's always an option as well.
Yeah, and for me, when I'm planning like going all the way home, I prefer to use the Greyhound transportation because they have like one station like in my hometown. But also when I'm just going like down to Phoenix, just like visit some friends, I like to take the Flex bus because it is like kind of like more affordable and also like leaves you specifically where like the town you want to go.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite things about Flagstaff is just how incredibly accessible it is, whether you are utilizing your car or some of our transportation on-campus shuttles, including the Jax and Louis line or our Mountain line, which serves the greater Flagstaff community. We have some really great free transportation here on campus to help out with that as well. And in thinking a little bit about sorry, we just got one other question in here about academics. I would love to know, have either of you changed your major?
I have changed my major. When I was the first year, my major was public health. And then I attended a workshop, and then I realized that I was like more into like pre-med stuff. So when I did like my research about classes and like the requirements for like applying to med school, I realized that maybe biomedical sciences was like the better fit. So I talked with my academic advisor, and they told me that I could do that if I wanted to. So I did it. And for me, like it was not that much like difference because I didn't have to take like extra classes or like stay an extra semester or anything. So it was very good.
And for me, I personally haven't changed my major, but I have changed my minor. And with that, it is a very similar process. So you'll go onto your Louis account. There's a little section that says change major or minor. You'll click on that link and just type in what you want it to change it to. And then it will update your progression plan from there. I changed my minor from psychology to social work because I saw it as a better fit for where I want to go in my future career. So.
Awesome, thank you for that information. We also do have an exploratory track here on campus, so if you are a little bit unsure of your major prior to coming on campus, you can always choose to be an exploratory student, which would allow you to explore our different options here on campus. And looking at our next question, it's about resources on campus. Specifically, what sort of medical and mental health resources do we have here on campus? And we'll start with you, Megan.
Yeah, so in our Health and Learning Center, we do have our campus health services, which is the more like the medical side of things. And so they can do anything up to like stitching up a cut that you may have, giving IVs, x-rays, or things like that. They will do basically anything up until surgery. They do not do anything surgery related. And then also in that office, we have our counseling services as well.
Yeah, and we also have what's called health promotion. That's like more focused on your mental health. And they have what's called stress busters. They give you like a 5 to 7 minutes walk up, and then after that they give you like a little talk, like asking you how you're doing for classes. And they also give you like tips for managing like stress or anxiety, and just to keep that like equilibrium between like personal life and also academic life.
I know Stress Busters plays a huge role in helping our students succeed in the classroom. And thinking about succeeding here at NAU, I would love to know what sort of advice would you all give students who are incoming freshmen here? And we'll start with Megan.
Yeah, a couple different things that have helped me over the years to stay successful in the classroom. The first being a planner. So I will take every syllabus that I have and I'll put every due date, assignment, exam, and all that kind of stuff into my calendar of the planner itself. So that way I know what's coming up in the weeks during the semester, and so that way I'm not overlooking anything, I'm not missing an assignment, or different things like that. So that is one great thing that I use, and then also I lean on my peers. So if I have any questions or if I'm struggling with any homework, I will be going and texting my peers and seeing if they understand that concept as well.
Yeah, and something also useful for me was attending to the SI session that Megan mentioned before. And also like going like tutoring or just like finding that like extra like practice so we can like ensure we are like understanding the material better.
All of NAU's tutoring and student support services are free, so we definitely recommend utilizing those as much as you can. They are great for that student success. And moving into our last question of the segment, and I think my favorite question is, why did you choose NAU? And with that, we'll start with Megan.
Yeah, so I chose NAU for a couple different reasons. The first being that I did not know exactly what I wanted to do when coming to college. I was going between a couple different options. And so when I chose NAU, I didn't have to make an exact choice right then and there on what I wanted to study. And I had a little bit of wiggle room, so that was really, really great. And then another thing was I am a Lumberjack recipient. So that scholarship was very, very helpful with me and my family. So.
Yeah, for me, I think it was also having the Lumberjack scholarship. That was like a very useful tool for me to attend in college. And also because I was looking for that like feeling of like being away from home, but then like not that close, because I know like I was going to be home like every weekend. So I think Flagstaff is just like the best place for me, because I really enjoy like having the 4 seasons here in Flagstaff. Like I said, like hometown is just pretty hot, so it was really nice, and also the people were really nice. So the first time I was here in Flagstaff campus, I felt like I was home. So that was when I know like NAU was for me.
Whether you're looking to NAU because of our location, our academics, or the financial package you've received, we're so happy that you took some time out to tune into our student panel. Thank you to our student ambassadors for your time today. We really appreciate it, Alexia and Megan. If there are any questions that were not answered, please send them in to admissions@nau.edu, and we'll be sure to answer those as soon as we can. We're going to take a short break, and then we'll pass it back to Chad and Annika. Thank you.
What we're trying to figure out is relationships between communities of microbes that live in mammal guts and Alzheimer's symptoms. Being able to possibly reduce patients and family suffering by learning more about the disease mechanisms would be tremendously satisfying. My name is Chris, and I'm a lumberjack.
So great always to hear from our students about their experience and answering your questions. Thank you for joining us for Discover NAU today and taking some time out of your day to learn a little bit more. Chad's going to share with you a couple different ways that our team would love to continue the conversation with you.
Yeah, if you've got other questions, certainly continue to use that admissions email address, admissions@nau.edu, and we'll answer questions. If you want an appointment, either over Zoom, on the phone, we're able to set that up too. You could use that email address, or we even have a specific email address for that, admissions.appointment@nau.edu. And we're happy to sit down and answer any questions that might be more personal to you or your family, or anything really that would help you navigate this process.
Excellent. Thanks again for joining us, and go Lumberjacks.
Go Lumberjacks.